Good evening, everybody. This is Mike Tedesco of Wrestleview.com.
And Victoria Tedesco.
All right. Welcome to the 35th edition of the Post-Raw Show. We're very excited to be here. Yeah, the Big 3-5. I just turned the Big 3-2 last week.
Yes, you
which
did.
is kind of scary, kind of odd. I don't feel 32. Then again, I don't know what 32 is supposed to feel like. But I think I'm very close to that age where it's like, I think I can still do things, and my body's like, don't do it.
Oh, I know what you mean. I remember at that trampoline park last year we went.
Oh, well, the trampoline park, I almost passed away at that place. I literally thought that I was gonna, I thought I was gonna, my heart was just gonna explode. I was jumping around so much, I really thought I was gonna die.
But there's even certain things now, like my brother would always say to me, he'd be like, oh, once you hit 25, you're not gonna be able to eat that. Like, don't worry, like the reflux is gonna kick in. And I'm like, no, I don't know what you're talking about. And then literally, like, around that age, there's certain things I eat and be like, oh, I am getting heartburn. Things that never even, like, occur to me back then.
Right. Yes. Things like that do tend to happen every now and then. It's unfortunate, but that's just the pains of getting older. Oh, you know what? How dare I? How dare we? Quentin Walters and Baby Tedesco. Yes, Baby Tedesco is here with us tonight as well. Yes. So our little baby is here as well. So we're hosting. 3 people are hosting the show tonight as well. So this is nice. Except we can't see one of them.
No, Baby Tedesco's been kicking my butt today all night.
Well, let's say hi to everybody that's in the chat room so far. We got Sweet Lewis in the room. We got Billy Hefner, our buddy. Jamel, Randy M. Talking. Damn, I missed the East Coast.
Talking.
Nafis is in the room, of course. Daniel Shell. God damn it, Daniel. Who else we got? We got Grash here. We got Kit Dyson. We got a bunch of people here.
I love how everyone's here. I do.
Yes. And Randy Torcola. I remember I called him Troika one day. I don't know why I did that, but I did. You know how it is. You know how it is. But it's the Tedesco Funhouse. Yes, we are going to talk about the Funhouse.
Oh,
tonight.
I can't wait.
Ooh, I can't wait for that either. Daddy Tedesco. And we also have a video from a certain someone who might not be with Wrestleview anymore. So
could it be?
We'll never know. You never know. The show. Okay, so we're going to talk about Raw tonight. Raw, of course, taking place in Des Moines, Iowa. Ooh, Des Moines, Iowa. How much fun. Oh, boy. Let's see. Randy, we have Secret Germs, so Robert Roode, the mustache, and nod to... Oh, we're going to talk about Robert Roode. Don't worry about that. I actually loved Robert Roode tonight. Robert. Randy M., you'll spend the first 2 years getting the little one to walk and talk, and the next 16 plus getting him to sit down and shut up. How exciting. Parenthood. Can't wait. But we'll survive it. Somehow we are going to make it through. While we're doing that, let's take a look at what everybody thought of this episode of Raw from Des Moines, Iowa tonight. If I could just get it on there. Here we go. We got 66% thumbs up right now, Victoria.
Hey.
People actually seem to have liked the show. And you know why people like the show?
Why?
Because it ended on a high note. I guarantee you, and we'll talk about the main event momentarily, but it was AJ Styles taking on Baron Corbin. If Baron Corbin beat AJ Styles, it would be like 99% thumbs down.
I'm going to track your theory.
That happens.
These past few weeks.
That happens all the time. Yeah, so Des Moines, Iowa. Who do we know that lives in Iowa?
I don't know who lives there, who also, you said, may not be a part of Wrestleview anymore.
I don't know, but we'll get to that in a little bit. Oh, we got Mr. V in the room tonight, too. Yes, Mr. V is in the room with us. Excellent. This is good stuff. We have a lively chat already, I can tell.
Love it.
So this is awesome. And let's just get started talking about Raw.
Let's do it.
So, last week's Superstar Shakeup, we had a few more changes to the Raw roster tonight.
Yes.
Before anything happened. So, like, a good portion of our Superstar Shakeup stuff has been totally rescinded. According to a report posted by the intrepid Wrestleview reporter Mike Tedesco. Oh, that's me. Yes. WWE has taken back some of the roster changes that they have made. One of the big ones, in my opinion, I really thought that there was going to be like some kind of like bright future going on here with him, was Andrade and Zelina Vega moving off of Raw, because Fox, it's allegedly at the request of Fox, when SmackDown moves to Fox in October of this year. Other big things are happening in October this year, but not really pertaining to wrestling, more for us. But we'll get to that in October. They want to have a Latino star on the show because they want to make a big push on Fox Deportes. So Andrade got moved back, and SmackDown traditionally has been like a very heavy Latina market. Rey Mysterio, no question about it, carried that brand, and so did Eddie Guerrero for quite a few years. And they were the reason why the ratings were so high and why people were watching that show. They really loved their Latino star, and WWE hasn't really developed any new Latino stars. They tried with Alberto Del Rio, and then he wound up being a
psychopath,
an absolute weirdo. They tried with Sin Cara, and then his very first night. Who will ever forget Sin Cara's first night? It was also the night that Edge retired, but he was facing, I think it was Primo Colon. But all I remember is he was going for his finish, and they both fell to the floor. So that was dead on arrival. They tried Unico. They tried a whole bunch of stuff. Didn't work. Andrade has a great chance because
he has really good potential, honestly, to be their ultimate star in that aspect. So,
right.
It's interesting that they did like a shakeup and then a shakeup again.
Yeah.
But
a shakeup, but nobody knew this shakeup was going on.
No. But I'm excited about it, and it actually one of the reasons it makes me happy too is because what you said a couple weeks ago about Finn Balor. Or was it last week?
It was last week, yes.
Yeah, when they had that great matchup. And now we get to see it because it was like, oh, Finn Balor's moving, Andrade's there. Now we won't get to, and then they won't get to continue. But now it's really good that maybe you get to.
Do we really get to see it? Because right now, as it stands, and we have on the Wrestleview media page, we have a big running joke that nobody actually really watches SmackDown. It's the SmackDown show that nobody watches. But when it moves to Fox, I'm sure it will have plenty more eyes on it than it does at the moment. So that's something. But it's like I would have tried to build Andrade up right now on Raw, and then you can just finagle some way to get him back onto SmackDown or something like that. It kind of just makes the whole entire Superstar shakeup thing just seem a little.
I think you want to be closer to Charlotte too.
Well, yes, I know that there was definitely some rumblings. Andrade is dating Charlotte Flair, and she remained on SmackDown, but they're not married. Now, other move,
she's still big.
The other move Raw had done to it was Aleister Black is now on SmackDown. Aleister Black, so because Andrade and Charlotte, they're not married, they separated them, but then they brought them back together literally less than a week later. They don't want to separate married couples. That's why, Jimmy Uso comes over. Naomi also comes over. Aleister Black, and I told this to Victoria, and I swear I wish that I could have recorded her reaction to this. But it was something that looked like this. When I said that Aleister Black is married to Zelina Vega,
I was like, "What?"
And you're the freaking gossip queen of WWE.
I guess I just haven't been following up on that particular. I don't know. I was shocked.
I'm shocked that you didn't know that.
I've been following up on everything else with the gossip.
I know. It's
a lot to keep up with.
Yes. Keep talking, please. I'm just trying to get something else.
Oh, okay. Here. No, but I'm excited for it. I know you're saying that you wanted him to be on Raw to like establish himself a little bit, but with the change with Fox coming up, I think with SmackDown, I think people will start to watch it more. At least during this time when the shakeup does happen, you do tend to like get people who have an interest in boat shows for at least a little while because of the shakeup to see how things pan out. But I don't know. It's exciting.
Yeah.
It's exciting, but yeah.
It's something.
Completely shocked at Aleister Black's I was like,
yeah.
What?
All right, there's actually a good point from Jamel, too. He says it's why Nikki Cross and Killian Dane are going to end up on the same brand. They kind of, like, my God, they have completely forgotten about Nikki Cross. Like, she doesn't even exist on the main. Like, she was there, and it was like, okay, they're gonna do something with her, and then she just straight up disappeared.
I don't know.
It's like all of Sanity. They called up the entire Sanity stable. Like, when was it? Back in August or something like that?
But I think with
I don't even remember.
I don't know, but I think with Nikki Cross though, it's like I haven't even established a connection to her to even care enough that she hasn't been doing anything. Like, she was there for a hot second. This crazy girl comes in, does her thing.
All right.
Who cares though? Like,
I know.
Does anyone really actually care that she hasn't been doing? Maybe some people do.
I know. It's crazy. But right now, what we're going to do, before we talk about Raw, let's get a little bit of a live perspective of it. We had a former staff member that was there tonight in Des Moines, Iowa.
You're leaving me in suspense. I don't know who this person is.
You might know who he is. His name is what was it again? Was it Stephen Martin? No, Adam Martin.
I thought he died.
No. We had his Irish funeral on this show.
Oh, okay.
But an Irish funeral doesn't mean that you're dead.
Oh, okay. I thought he was gone. So.
Adam Martin was there in Iowa tonight.
Love you, Adam.
He lives in Iowa, but he's not close to Des Moines. It was like a road trip for him. But he recorded a little post-show video for us. It's about a minute long. Let's hear what Adam has to say about the Raw from Des Moines, Iowa. That's so Adam.
Bye.
That's so Adam.
I love it.
Always.
We love you, Adam.
Always something else. Yes. So it sounds like he had a good time. The Robert Roode thing, obviously, really kind of like taking the world by storm here.
I just gotta say though, about Adam, real quick.
Yes, please do. I hope everybody was able to hear that. I have no idea if anybody can hear that.
You hear the relax?
Oh, no audio, but it came through over here. Darn it.
No one heard it?
I guess not. But hey, you know what? You could see his face, so that's the good part of it.
Adam, like, his voice was so relaxed.
Mm-hmm.
He just seemed a lot more like calm. I don't know. Adam's always a calm person. I'm just saying, like, because he was doing this for so long. You could just tell, like, he actually just had fun at the show and didn't have to even think about wrestling. You know what I mean?
I know. Amazing. It was just there. So that's Adam. He basically said that Robert Roode was fun. He had a lot, you sit next to a Bullet Club fan. I will attempt to play that video later on if I can figure out how to get this audio thing fixed, but I could hear it through my headphones, so I don't know why it didn't come through on the thing, but whatever, live show, you know how this happens. Every now and then there's a little bit of a glitch, but it's okay. Yes. So Adam is.
So Adam had a good time at Raw,
alive
basically.
and well.
Yeah.
Okay. Did we have a good time watching Raw? I think I did.
I think I did too.
Okay. Well, let's talk about it. We had Raw open up. I didn't like this opening segment. So basically they advertised, and it was like very late in the day when they finally advertised something for Raw tonight. It was just like, oh, new era happening on Raw tonight. Tune in. I was like, okay, that sounds like okay, whatever. And nothing else. And then at 7 o'clock, they're like, okay, we're gonna have 2 triple threat matches tonight. Raw, Samoa Joe, who we never announced was on Raw, but here he is. The United States champion is on Raw now. He'll be taking on AJ Styles and Rey Mysterio. And then we have a second triple threat match, Baron Corbin taking on The Miz and Drew McIntyre. And the winner of those 2 matches face in the main event. And that person will be the number 1 contender for Seth Rollins' Universal Championship. So Seth Rollins in the ring with Triple H. I don't know why Triple H was there at all. I have no clue why. Like, I had nothing.
I'll call Paul later and see what he says.
Oh yeah, hi Paul.
Hi Paul.
Hi Paul. Yeah, I have no idea what he was doing out there, but it was literally just like Triple H was just there, and he was like, "Yeah, you went in there as the Kingslayer and left as the Beast Slayer," and blah blah blah. But like, the crowd was like so super into Seth Rollins because it was Iowa. You could just send Seth Rollins out there just to kind of do his own thing, and that was it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, they had Triple H out there to make the triple threat announcement, but literally right before Triple H made his entrance, the commentators told us that the two triple threats.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean.
Like, were to determine the new number one contender.
It was just unnecessary. I guess.
Was redundant.
Yeah,
it was redundant. But the crowd was like super into Seth Rollins, his home state of Iowa, so they liked him, and that. You know, I was like, okay, we had a live crowd tonight. But then they sent out everybody who's in the triple threat matches. Samoa Joe, Rey Mysterio, Drew McIntyre, The Miz, Baron Corbin, AJ Styles. And it just became like one of those typical paint by numbers, like, no, I'm going to win. No, I'm going to win. I'm going to do this. Oh,
Miz was good coming out. He had a really big pop.
Yes, Miz had a good reception from the crowd. But this just was like just typical. Kind of felt like they wrote the show all in the last like 2 hours before the show started.
They very well may have.
I mean, there were a few things that on the show tonight that felt that like it had a plan, but most of it just kind of felt like thrown together.
I think they probably had like a general plan, and then they just, like you said, they probably just had to come up with something really fast.
Yeah, this felt like a plan.
Like, you come out, you do that, you say this, you say you want to win. Yeah.
Yeah, I just didn't get it. I didn't.
Not the worst opening, though, to be honest with you. There's definitely been worse.
Oh yeah, no doubt about that. There's definitely.
But just an average opening, nothing to really like.
Yeah, no. I mean, it was just I just called it paint by numbers. It just was there. Again, I don't know why Triple H was out there at all, but whatever. I guess he just
wanted to give the crowd to look at Triple H, maybe.
Maybe he was having a bad day and just needed to hear some cheers or something.
Who knows?
Who knows? But our first triple threat match with Samoa Joe, Rey Mysterio, and AJ Styles. That was awesome.
Amazing.
That was like super awesome.
So
they
great.
did so much stuff in this match. It was like one of those hard hitting matches. They had some really kind of creative spots in there. Like I'm looking at this one of AJ Styles kind of flat leapfrogging Rey Mysterio into Samoa Joe. It's with a Hurricane Rana. It was just lots and lots of fun happening here. Like AJ Styles and Rey Mysterio, that's a dream match I'd like to see, again. I've never really seen it on like a big scale. I'd love to see that at some point, and that be a feud on Raw. Well, even Samoa Joe just being on Raw, he just felt a lot more fresh. He got busted open pretty nasty tonight in this match, but the finish was just killer, absolutely killer. And I'm wondering, like, I don't know where he got injured, but he got busted like right in the nose, and his face was covered in blood pretty much by the end of the show. I'm wondering, by the end of the match, I'm wondering if, like, when he powerbombed Rey Mysterio onto Samoa Joe, if like Mysterio might have caught him with an elbow or something. I'm looking at it right now. It maybe.
Sometimes though, I feel like when somebody gets hurt like that, it really kind of depends. Like, you think that it could have been like this major hit, but then sometimes it's just like random. I feel like there's like you can't really like unless the camera's specifically on that point where you see it and then it happens immediately after. Sometimes it's just a random bump, but which is surprising to me because you would think you'd be able to be like, oh, it was definitely in that spot,
right?
But who the heck knows? I mean, still, to me, it's amazing. Like, I guess call me old fashioned in that sense. When you see that blood, though, you just immediately are like, I don't know.
It just makes you look cool.
Yeah, it does. I would never want to bleed in a match, but
no, but it does make you look cool.
Yeah,
I mean, Samoa Joe looked very cool at the end of this. The Miz looked cool last week when he got busted open.
He did, yeah.
But
great match, really, really great match.
Yeah, it was fun. The finishing sequence was great. Mysterio hit a 619 on Samoa Joe. Maybe he caught him on the bridge of the nose at the 619. Who knows? I've seen people be busted open from the 619 before.
Yeah, could literally been anything.
Yeah, it could be anything. But there was a couple nasty kicks from AJ Styles to Samoa Joe's head too that really were. I mean, they were just taking a beating tonight.
I like
it was
these
a lot of
guys
fun.
together in the
But
ring.
yeah, I know. I'd love to see this triple threat match again. But that finish was great. The Mysterio going for a Hurricane Rana, gets power bombed, then Styles power bombs him onto Joe, and then gives him the Styles clash onto Joe, and then he pins Joe. It was awesome.
Joe.
That's right. Jamel's right. He injured Taker like that years ago. I think didn't he break Taker's cheekbone?
Did he?
Doing that. Yeah, I think he busted or something with his orbital socket. Something happened where he got pretty messed up with the 619. But Taker's like
powerful.
Taker's like completely tough and just he'll take that. That was our first triple threat. Our second triple threat wasn't as good as the first one, but it wasn't a bad match by any stretch. The Miz versus Baron Corbin versus Drew McIntyre. The entire time I'm watching this, I'm just sitting around like waiting for Shane McMahon to interfere and do something. No Shane tonight. No Shane whatsoever. But I felt like they made it pretty clear on last week's show that the Miz versus Shane McMahon is still an ongoing thing.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it is for sure. And like I said, you don't listen to commentary. But
commentary, but there
Corey,
was one part of the show tonight where commentary totally made the match better.
No, but what I'm saying is with that second triple threat match, they mentioned that they're like Shane is still on Miz's radar, and they mentioned how Shane lit a fire under the Miz, so it's definitely very much a thing.
Yes.
It's not over.
Right.
But this was first of all, you just insulted me because you're like, it wasn't as good as the first triple threat match. This was good.
Why does it have anything to do with you?
It is because
like so weirdly.
No, I know because it's the Miz, and he was fantastic. Okay, I mean, yeah, the only person I would eliminate from that was Baron Corbin, but hello, it's really good.
Oh my God, you're embarrassing yourself right now.
You're embarrassing yourself.
Okay. All right. Anyway,
no,
okay.
but it was good.
It was
and I
a good
like the
match.
way that the finish happened. I like the way, I knew Miz wasn't going to win, but I like the way that Drew McIntyre did the Claymore kick and took advantage of that for Baron to get the pin on the Miz.
Right.
Because that was the only way that personally to me, why Drew wouldn't win or why Miz wouldn't win.
Well,
like, why would Baron
Drew
Corbin
is the
win?
guy that it just seems like he's put into these situations, but he never takes the pin, and but he's always in the mix of it. But it seems like they're holding off on Drew McIntyre for a bigger event, like a SummerSlam.
But that's why.
And if you remember, and we'll see what happens in the next few months. But we did say back when was it? Back in November, December,
Possibly.
maybe even October. We said Drew McIntyre maybe for SummerSlam next year.
Yeah,
as a
for
champion.
Sure. But I think
I could totally see that.
The protection of Drew and Miz
Well, they protected him because Drew McIntyre had the match won, and then Baron Corbin runs in, throws him out of the ring, and pins the Miz.
That's why I liked it.
That's good
if
stuff.
that finish had to happen like that, where Baron Corbin's the one pinning somebody, I'm glad it happened. It transpired the way it did.
Right.
It made sense. Logic actually worked in this favor.
Yeah, I know. So it was good. That leads us to AJ Styles versus Baron Corbin in the main event.
Mm-hmm.
And the entire time I'm thinking to myself, they had Baron Corbin beat Kurt Angle in his farewell match, and they keep putting that over. They keep having the ring announcer list all these crazy accolades from from Baron Corbin's past. He's a former this, former that.
Former that, yeah.
It's like, I figured that they would do something with the Kurt Angle retirement thing, and it's like, okay, well, we're gonna have him be like the number one contender, and then Styles would be in the Money in the Bank match doing AJ Styles type things,
right?
Well, and then at the beginning of this match, they even said, oh, AJ Styles was injured in the first during the first triple threat match. So I'm like, okay, well, now they're giving AJ Styles an out for losing this match. And I'm watching it the whole entire time going, okay, well, Baron Corbin's going to win. Baron Corbin's going to win. Baron Corbin's going to win. Styles making a comeback, but Corbin's still going to win. He's going to cut him off somehow. Or something's going to happen. Samoa Joe's going to come out, whatever. And then, phenomenal forearm, Baron Corbin is pinned. AJ Styles versus Seth Rollins at Money in the Bank. I am not upset about that at all.
I knew that was going to happen, though.
You did?
Yeah, I really didn't think to be honest with you, I didn't even think for a second that Baron Corbin was going to win that match. I didn't.
Really?
No,
wow.
I didn't. Which is kind of surprising because I normally don't make such a confident prediction like that.
Right.
But I really from the moment that I knew that Baron Corbin was the one who like won the triple threat match and that the main event was happening, I was like, there's no way that Baron Corbin's winning it.
Oh, wow.
I knew.
I see. Like I'm so jaded. I wish I had your optimism. I was like, oh, of course they're gonna screw it up somehow. And Seth Rollins' first title defense will be against Baron Corbin. But hey, you know what?
No, I think
this works out for AJ Styles. It established him as like a force to beat on Raw. And it's good for Seth Rollins too, who beats Brock Lesnar, and then his first title defense be against Baron Corbin. That's not a great first title defense.
But
AJ Styles is way better.
But that's what I thought. I thought to myself, okay, who's
but
going to be the better?
That's using logic. And usually they don't do that.
But sometimes they were using logic a little bit tonight, a little bit more than usual. So
yes,
certain things.
Yeah, they certainly were. But yes, okay. So phenomenal forearm. AJ Styles pins Baron Corbin clean in the ring, and that's your Money in the Bank match. That's one of our Money in the Bank matches. Our other Money in the Bank match announced so far. Now we do have Of course, we have two regular Money in the Bank matches. Men's and women's Money in the Bank participants will be announced next week on Raw during a Moment of Bliss.
Yes.
So. I sit through another one of those goddamn Moment of Blisses. They are awful. They're so...
People in Wrestleview love Alexa.
They are terrible. Yeah, that's great. You can love Alexa all you want, but like you can't say that that the Moment of Bliss shows have ever really been good at any point ever. And we've had like at least 10 of them now, or 10 or 15, something like that.
Whatever.
They suck. But anyway, she'll be announcing those men's and women's competitors next week. But our other match announced for Money in the Bank is Becky Lynch versus Lacey Evans. And it seems like they're kind of confused as to what title it's going to be for. Lacey Evans came out and interrupted Becky Lynch and said that both titles are going to look great around her waist. But then the WWE.com website says that it's just for the Raw Women's Championship. But no matter what, Becky Lynch is facing Lacey Evans right now, officially for the Raw Women's Championship. Who knows if it'll be for both titles. But Becky Lynch was out there tonight. She got a good reaction, but once she started talking, lost me. She lost me big time. She kept just going through like, oh yeah, it was just like kind of like just rambling. It was just talk. Lacey Evans interrupted her, and Becky Lynch called her a plank. I don't know what that means. She shouldn't take her happiness for complacency. It's time for the man to start collecting debts. And it just, oh my God, it just felt like Becky Lynch is ice cold.
Yeah. Here's my thing about this whole Becky Lynch thing. First of all, Becky Two Belts is really just has to end immediately.
The Becky Two Belts. Oh, the Becky Two Belts thing is horrible.
Immediately.
Ugh. When she tried to start that in Brooklyn, even Brooklyn didn't chant it. She goes, "Yeah, Becky Two Belts, huh? Becky Two Belts."
But if it's not happening in Brooklyn, it's not happening. So that should have been your first indication of that.
Becky Two Belts.
Here's the thing with this whole situation with Becky. It's when she came out tonight, and yes, she's going to get a great reaction. Let's put it this way: I don't think there's ever really going to be a point in the near future where she's not going to get people who are cheering for her when she comes out. But you could hear it though. When you can hear her voice that clearly when she's talking, it's not a good thing. And to me, she's not having anybody who's comparable to face now. Like, she's coming off this like huge like main event win, first time women main eventing WrestleMania and all this. And then you're just going back to like these individuals who aren't even as like well established yet. Like, was Lacey Evans really the right choice for this, like her first feud as with both of these these championships? No, because Lacey Evans has been walking around. Yeah, that was her thing, like just walking around. But again, I have my issues with Lacey Evans too, because she was in that the women's Royal Rumble match, right? Mm-hmm. So it's like she should have never been in that match if she was just going to make these random appearances.
No, I don't think.
No, I'm telling you, like
the random appearances were just to keep her, in the public's purview.
But I don't like the way that I don't really know how I feel about the Lacey Evans character, to be honest with you.
I don't know what it is.
I don't know what it is either, but I mean,
she's a lady.
From what I'm right, and from what I'm gathering about that too, about like, and we're still going into these with her character. She's still going into this whole like women right thing and blah 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 blah. Like,
well, the women's right. That's the name of her finisher.
Yeah, but still, I just don't think it was I don't think she was the right choice. But again, I'm going to say
that's
I don't know.
That's the best they have.
But right, who were they going to pick?
I don't know. I don't know what's left.
I don't know.
Raw.
I just find that like you had these really amazing superstars that she was facing against, like Charlotte Flair and Ronda Rousey, and then it's like Lacey Evans, really?
That's the next one. Yeah, I know. It's kind of a tough sell, but you know, I talked about it with CJ Bowman on the State of the WWE podcast that we did right before WrestleMania about how ice cold Becky Lynch feels going into this, and you know, yeah, she got the reaction at WrestleMania, but the botched pin, you know, that everybody knows by now that it happened, it kind of negates the title win a little bit, it kind of cheapens it. I don't know, and just like it feels like she peaked a month before WrestleMania, like her height was like right there, and then we still had like another month to go, and she just couldn't maintain it. What you can call it bad booking, you can call it, you know, kind of like the buzz just faded from her.
I think she's becoming a hokey face again.
I don't know. But like even that, like she's not even funny. Like, you know, I think she, you know, when she called her a plank tonight, I think she was expecting like a big kind of like chuckle.
Right,
for that.
but that's what I mean.
Like,
now.
I get it.
I feel like
she's like a piece of wood in the ring, which isn't a total lie either. You know, Lacey Evans is kind of wooden and not that great in the ring from what I saw with her match against Natalya last week.
I just think I'm being overcritical because I want so badly to have the women kind of stay in this, you know, spotlight of main eventing and really like kicking butt.
They will. They will.
But I know. But
the conversation we're having here is Becky Lynch.
Is
she cold or what? Yeah.
Immediately.
Yeah.
But maybe not as immediate as I thought too. I think I've been not like into it as much anyway, but
yeah.
But then it leads into I think you know what too, probably for me tonight it led into the aftermatch of having Becky face Alicia Fox, and that really
that killed the crowd dead. You know, as soon as Alicia Fox came out,
why is she back?
Who knows?
Is she not in trouble anymore?
Who knows? Well, the very first thing Corey Graves said was she looks healthy, so maybe she went to rehab. I don't know what the hell happened. I have no idea what happened there.
I don't know.
That
was very
Randy
off-putting.
says, I agree, Victoria. She's goofy, doofy. Becky on the mic trying to be badass when she walks around. It's, you know, there's just like there's a character crisis going on.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That I agree with that 100%. It's like you're this man, but then you're making hokey comments.
Right.
Doesn't really make sense.
But like she also, her character is not really like as established enough as a tough guy as well. You know, I mean, yeah, they did the fun cop thing, you know, right before WrestleMania and all that stuff. But the ones who shined the most in that were Ronda Rousey and Charlotte Flair. It wasn't really Becky Lynch. She was kind of in the background.
Nia Jax breaking her nose at the time was the best thing that happened to her.
Well, that is the reason why Becky Lynch is the champion was because of that visual of her with the blood and going like this and all that stuff. You know, but I don't know. You know, and this kind of just leads me into like thinking like the Raw roster too for women on the Raw roster. It's just Lacey Evans is the best that they have. Nia Jax is out with double knee surgery, so that's not even a thing for the next couple months.
It's not.
I don't know where they go with her from.
I don't either.
From here, I get it has to be. It would just be solely SmackDown competitors. Who else is on Raw that's like worthy of a title shot?
Naomi,
okay, but Naomi hit her ceiling already. I think Naomi's a flat
for
character.
athleticism though.
It could be a decent match, but she's hit her peak. Natalia's boring as hell. She sucks on the microphone. She's not that great in the ring.
But that's the problem that I'm having. There's nobody comparable.
There's Alexa Bliss, you know, but you know.
Well, I think she's in a crisis character mode right now too.
Yeah, like she's a face sometimes. She's not a face. You know, she's a heel. It's like what are they doing with Alexa Bliss?
You know what? I think that's the root of her problem.
They had her wrestle on the Raw after WrestleMania, and that was her first match in months. And then she hasn't wrestled in the last 2 weeks. But they did have that little interaction with Becky Lynch and Alexa Bliss on Twitter, which makes me kind of think like this could be a viable thing.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. I don't know. I think we kind of found the root of the problem as we were discussing it.
There's no Raw roster either.
There's no Raw roster, and a lot of these women are in crisis character mode.
Yeah. And there are no characters. I mean, if it winds up with Becky Lynch facing Dana Brooke or Tamina, it's like, oh god, we're gonna be scraping.
We really hit rock bottom.
We're gonna be scraping the bottom of the barrel here. But SmackDown's got the great roster. They have Asuka, they have Kairi Sane, they got a bunch of stuff going on.
Always been the better show, but
well,
promoting Raw.
yeah, exactly. Anyway, moving on with this. Becky Lynch beat Alicia Fox in a very, very flat, dull match. Barely you could hear crickets during it, and then Lacey Evans came in and laid her out with
Becky
Lynch out with women's rights.
Corey Graves said something great during the match along the lines of with Alicia Fox. He's like, longevity doesn't equate to talent.
Oof! Wow. That's pretty
Alicia
brutal.
Fox. Yeah.
Commentary's been pretty damn brutal lately.
That was great though, because it's like, yeah, you're right. Alicia Fox has been here for like 12 years, but what the fuck does she have to show for it? Sorry, whoops. Sorry, I didn't mean to curse. Like, I really don't like cursing on the podcast.
Yeah, well, she does stink. She does stink. All right. Alicia Fox just has brought nothing to the table, but it wasn't her fault that the match died tonight. It's a mix of a bunch of things. All right. Here's another match that died tonight. So now we're just gonna start going backwards into Raw now and talk about the stuff that wasn't as important to the show, like Naomi versus Billie Kay in a match that went about a minute. The Iconics are so bad. No wonder. I mean, I don't like Sasha Banks. I think I made that pretty damn clear on this show that I'm not a Sasha Banks fan whatsoever. But good Lord. You know, maybe she has a point to be upset about losing to the Iconics, because you talk about planks. You talk about pieces of wood. A match that went a minute. It was horrible. Almost everything that Billie Kay did was atrocious.
Well, here's the thing about when they came out and they were talking about the whole Ariana Grande thing. This is the wrong crowd to talk about Ariana Grande.
I thought you were gonna like spill some news. I have no idea about anything.
No,
Ariana
but
Grande.
I think I was like one of the only few people probably like as a viewer and who was in the crowd who even got what they were talking about as far as the thank you next Ariana Grande. That's not their fan base. They don't listen. Like, I would like to know in the chat room if you listen to Ariana Grande. I'll be very surprised. I'm just saying it's not a typical like.
Well, not listen. I'm sure people have heard Ariana Grande.
Of course, they've heard of her, but like,
fans of Ariana
are you
Grande?
fans of Ariana Grande? Is the real question. But it's like that was just the wrong reference to make, and I, it's so sad because I'm really rooting for them, and I'm still going to root for them because I just want it to work. Because I was so happy that they took the titles away from Bayley and Sasha Banks. But, like, this just completely fell flat. Like, astronomically. And a 2-second match that they had, that Billie Kay had with Naomi, it's like, what is the point? You're making these titles. They completely, came and beat, Billie Kay came and beat another contender. Like, it's like, I don't know.
And how about, like, this is 2 weeks in a row now that the Iconics have lost on Raw, or like some form of the Iconics. Billie Kay lost tonight. Why are they like? Now here's my question. Okay, all of these women's tag team titles that everybody was clamoring for, they feel like literally just another pointless prop on this television show.
Yeah.
Like, if this is how the women's tag team titles were going to be booked, did we really need them at all?
This is where they need a major reset. Like, really think about this. Like, what are you doing? This is something that you put so much effort into, and it just seems like now, again, this needs to be, if they're putting these new titles into the company, you need to make it a priority in your stories. And I thought the Iconics would really do well with this. And I said, I'm still rooting for them because I really enjoyed their banter and their interactions. But it's like, oh boy, that was just something tonight.
Yeah, it was pretty poor. if I could say so. I thought it was really, really damn poor. Anyway, yeah, it just stunk. I don't know what maybe they're gonna call up a new person for Naomi to tag team with. I don't know what that was for.
From NXT,
at all.
you're thinking?
Who knows? Maybe? Who knows? They had Sami Zayn out there holding the WWE Universe accountable again, and he's just basically said that,
Love
the
him.
10 months I was off were the best of my life, and you can all go to hell. And he was just showing pictures of himself on vacation.
I love him.
And talking about how much he loves being off and how depressed he is to be back. So there's that. I was like,
that was great.
It was fun. Sami Zayn is just a ton of fun right now, and I love it. I can't get enough of it. Cesaro versus Cedric Alexander. Both new superstars. Cesaro randomly just moved over.
Yeah.
No word on what that means for the bar, but presumably they're broken up right now and Sheamus is out with some sort of injury that is undisclosed. We don't know what it is, but he's not around. Cesaro just basically came out there like he's the Swiss Superman, but he came out like the Swiss cyborg. He looked like psychotic, a Swiss serial killer or something like that. He was like just absolutely looked psychotic tonight. Just pounded on Cedric Alexander, just killed him, slammed him. Cedric Alexander was taking some bad landings, a gut wrench suplex right onto his hips and stuff like that. Just didn't. Oof, man, he really took a pounding. And Cesaro picks up a win in this one.
Okay.
Yep. Okay. Great.
No, really. Like, what do you want me to what do you want me to say?
No, I don't know. Like,
I feel bad for Cesaro. I do. I mean, like, not that much was going on.
I think he was having fun with the bar, though.
He was having fun with the bar, and now that Sheamus is out, it's like he's always been one of those guys that I really always have felt bad for because he really is a true talent.
Great hand.
And has a lot of skill.
He's a great hand, and it's like that. He is his career just never recovered.
I'm gonna go back.
His career never recovered from Vince McMahon saying on the Stone Cold podcast.
That's about what I was gonna say. You took the words out of my mouth right there.
That he doesn't have the it factor.
That's wrong.
How do you recover from that?
Because it's like the head of the company is saying you don't have the it factor.
Yeah. So how can anybody ever get invested?
How do you yourself get motivated to I don't know.
But that was tough.
Yeah.
That was tough. Oh wait, we got so WWE loves name changes, the Viking Raiders are now a thing. It was the Viking Experience, formerly the War Raiders, but now they are the Viking Raiders. They did not bring out their NXT Tag Team Championships tonight. I am curious as to what that means for the titles. I don't think you should beat the Viking Experience in NXT now. I think the title should just be vacated somehow. We'll see what happens, but man, they just killed the Lucha House Party, and I'll take more of that. I want to see these guys with the Raw Tag Team titles as soon as possible. Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins are, to me, total jokes, but the titles themselves are total jokes, and these guys could actually bring some legitimacy to those titles. They killed the Lucha House Party, and the match never even started. But like, so Vince, so total Vince.
I know what you're gonna
everybody
say.
hated the name The Viking Experience. Everybody hated it. So earlier today they changed the name to the Viking Raiders. But tonight on Raw, tonight on Raw, their big double team finisher was called the Viking Experience.
Oh, I love it.
So damn it, we're still gonna use it somehow.
Shade, Mr. McMahon.
Oh god, I got such a kick out of that. That was so damn funny. Of course they would name it that. But I have to say, there were two things that happened. It was literally back to back in the same segment. So first thing we had was Ricochet versus Robert Roode. Bobby Roode with this spectacular mustache now. He's Robert Roode now. And he's very serious. and he took on Ricochet and beat Ricochet, and I just loved everything about this match, including the commentary. For once, the commentary added something to it. When Corey Graves said that pregnancies are going to spike in the Midwest tonight just because of Bobby Roode's presence, I laughed out loud. That was hilarious.
That was fantastic.
That was phenomenal. I absolutely love that. I'm going to WWE's Twitter real quick because they had a great picture of Bobby Roode. With
while you're doing that, I just want to say a story. Because Mike and I have this ongoing joke where I call people by their official formal names. And I don't know if you remember this, but a while ago, I said Robert Roode. Like, I was calling him Robert.
You did? I totally forgot about that.
No, because the baseball remember it derived from the baseball player Bobby Wilson.
Oh, yeah.
And I kept calling him Robert Wilson. That's how this, like, joke started. But a long time ago, started calling him Robert Roode, and you're like, it's Bobby Roode. I'm like, I know. I'm doing that thing that I always do. Call people by their formal names, so.
I know. Look at that mustache.
I got a kick out of it.
That mustache is glorious.
Killer.
It's glorious.
Killer.
Beautiful. It's just beautiful. Anyway,
the man with the stash.
No, but like that was like one of easily like my favorite thing on the show tonight by far.
I was just seeing the mustache.
Yeah, like I'm excited that frickin' AJ Styles is taking on Seth Rollins in May, but tonight on Raw, Bobby Roode's mustache.
It was all about the mustache.
Mr. V killing it in the chat room tonight. Adam Martin is going to have a second baby because of Robert Roode's mustache. Molly better watch out tonight. Adam is coming in firing.
I'm gonna text Molly.
He's going to be firing.
Watch out.
Adam is going to come home firing on
don't
all
go near Adam.
Adam is going to be a virulent. Oh my goodness gracious! There's going to be a lot of seeds spewing tonight. But second thing, so we've seen these creepy vignettes all for the last few weeks. Raw after WrestleMania last week, and now it finally culminated tonight. We knew it was Bray Wyatt. We just knew it. But I didn't. I mean, if you saw this coming, tell me in the chat room that you saw this coming, and then I'll call you a goddamn liar. Okay? There is no possible way that. Okay, so basically what happened is they did this thing called the Firefly Funhouse, and basically Bray Wyatt is a psychotic version of Mr. Rogers now. That's his new character.
Something?
That's his new character.
Can I just say something?
Okay,
though?
say something.
I love how Wrestleview has come together, and we all had that same initial thought about the psychotic, evil Mr. Rogers.
Oh, I think everybody. I mean, it's done exactly like that.
But Wrestleview always takes the cake.
Yes, I agree.
We're ahead of the curve.
I agree. But I mean, he's bringing a chainsaw. They have children laughing in the background. It's like kind of like a mix of Pee Wee's Funhouse and Pee Wee's Playhouse and Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. I just got such a kick out of this. So he said he's never going to become that old loser Bray Wyatt again. He's going to be a new guy, and he looks like he lost
great.
He lost a ton of weight.
He looks great.
I mean, it was just phenomenal.
I think his new romance with JoJo's really been like
it's paying off. Paying off.
Well, he has a baby coming in June, so
yeah. Oh, it's just it was that was glorious. That was glorious. And that by far was like the best thing that happened on Raw. I can't wait for crazy Mr. Rogers to come out on Raw. Oh man, that's gonna be awesome. We were wondering like what the hell were they doing with Bray Wyatt? I can't even remember the last time I saw Bray Wyatt. I can't. It had to be before Matt Hardy. So it had to be right before SummerSlam was the last time we saw Bray Wyatt. That's it. Yeah, it was right before SummerSlam.
But yeah, the only time I've seen him is on Instagram.
Yeah, and yeah, of course you saw him on Instagram with JoJo, but because he's having a baby with her. But yeah, Bray Wyatt has been completely repackaged as this crazy Mr. Rogers character. So I can't wait to see what they do with it.
I did not see that coming with this direction at all. I mean, then again, I don't know what they were going to do with him, but wow.
No. Like I just there's no way anybody saw that coming. It's just so awesome, so great. But that, in a nutshell, is Raw right there. So there was actually a lot to like about this show tonight, other than like the result, the end result of the show. So I think people have it right pretty much. let's see what are the Twitters saying about the show at the moment. We have 57% thumbs up. So people are still giving it thumbs up. They like what they saw. They're happy with it. So that makes me happy that they're happy. I want to try to give the Adam thing one more try to get it to play. I don't know if it's going to work. So I'm going to, while the video is playing, I am going to switch to the chat to make sure it is working, but we'll see. I'm going to do it one more time and see what we can figure out here. So once more, if somebody says it's not working, then I'll nix it and I'll just throw it into the tape later on. But we'll try again one more time. What do you think, Victoria?
Yeah, why not?
All right, let's do it. Let's try it.
Go for it.
Well, it's not working. Darn it. That stinks. What a bummer. Oh, well. But I will insert that audio in later on from Mr. Martin. So we'll give it a shot there. What a bummer. Actually, it was a good video. He's a lot of fun, that Adam Martin. He's a kooky guy. Anyway, so that is Monday Night Raw for us. That is the Post-Raw show. This is our 35th edition of the Post-Raw show, so I am excited about that. We'll be back next week for the 36th one. I am Mike Tedesco.
I am Victoria Tedesco.
And we hope you have a great night.
And a great week.
Oh, yes, a great week as well. Yes, thank you. Have a good one. Bye.